use your inventory, like know what your inventory is. And I'm going to take it a little different direction because I've always historically worked for e-commerce companies, and it's a slightly different thing. So let me let's see, which one is it here? That arrow, that work? Hey, all right, cool. So a little bit about me. I'm the Director of Global SEO and Marketing Services for Groupon. I've been there for about 4 years. I have a math and computer science background and e-commerce. So 9 years of SEO and SEM experience. So I've worked at Amazon, Nordstrom, Groupon. So lots of places where we're trying to sell you something, and less about writing articles. But we'll get to that too. So anyway, about Groupon. So we were founded in 2008. Most of you probably know Groupon. We were founded as a deal of the day website, but we transitioned in 2013 to more of a marketplace. And that's really kind of key to what we're talking about today, because it's that sort of collecting all those deals of the day and having a critical mass and turning that into search engine optimization gold. We have over 50 million active customers worldwide. So a lot of people using Groupon. So what I wanted to talk about, though, is what are some of the headwinds that you have when you're trying to build content at an e-commerce site. So first of all, there's sort of this belief that content is distracting to customer experience, right? That's just going to get in the way. Like, why put an article there when we used to have something at Amazon which is call to action. It was called CHA. Each page had to have a click here A word, which was like, that's what we want you to do. So no, I'm not saying that's what we called it at Amazon, but maybe it was. Anyway, but the site organization is always organized around minimizing the clicks to conversion, right? So again, content as we think about it, as we think of these, beautiful articles about backpacking, REI backpack. I'm from Seattle, so that's awesome. I use that page. But that's not necessarily the first thing you should think about when you're writing content, when you're thinking about optimizing content for e-commerce. Finally, content's not your core competency. Again, this is something I'm not saying these are true, but that's sort of the thought. You don't see yourself as a content writing company, but it's not true. Because, and I'm going to give you this pyramid. This is not a funnel, this is a pyramid, because it's not meant to be like a classic marketing funnel, but it's meant to say, like, these are all the things that you can actually, where the content you're already building on an e-commerce site. And it starts from products, okay? Groupon, we have over 350,000 deals live right now. So that's a ton of content. I was just looking, I don't know if people saw the keynote earlier today, but they talked about an article having 700 words, I think it was the Data Mind or the Content Optimizer, that really cool product. And most of our deals have about 900 words of crawlable content. So there's a lot of content there. Categories, so when you have enough of those and you have that marketplace, we'll probably have 1,000 things to do in Chicago or 2,000 things to do. So right there, you've got an opportunity for aggregating, reusing that content. And then you have occasions. So I like to say at Groupon, every single occasion is an occasion. Every holiday is a Groupon opportunity. So Mother's Day, St. Patrick's Day, we could have bars. Halloween, we've got costumes and corn mazes and haunted houses, etc. And then finally, kind of the sort of aspirational lifestyle stuff. Those articles like what are the best places to backpack and that sort of thing. But my point is that what you should do, you could do all of those things. There's lots of things you can do, lots of content you can build, but you need to pick where you already can scale, because that's the name of the game at the sort of places I've been working at. And so focus on improving your content DNA. So at Groupon, that means products. We got product descriptions. We have customer reviews. That's great. Have your customers write for you. Category pages and buying guides, sales, promotions, holidays, and not much on the lifestyle stuff, not much on that aspirational stuff. Not that we don't do it, not that we don't want to get there, but the point I'm trying to say is that figure out, scale where you already have content, that you're writing a ton of it, and where we have those content writers, because we do have hundreds of deal content writers, copywriters at Groupon, and that's where we're going to make the biggest, impact. So what are the practices to improve? Keyword selection, content reuse, on-site promotion. That's another weird way of saying internal links, and then refresh cadence. So a lot of things that Steve was talking about. So now I'm going to run you through some examples on the Groupon website that I know best. Oh, it looks like we've Did we actually get? Oh, awesome! We got my animations back. Okay, I thought I wasn't going to get my animations. Okay, which is better because it makes it a little more readable. So thank you, Michael. So starting with products, so Groupon deal pages. So we have lots of these deals, and they've got a lot of content, right? So you can't see it there because it keeps going down, but we have like 900 words of content there. So I don't know how many of you saw that the keynote this morning, but one of I don't know if it was Jim or Lem who was saying, get the content right, and 97% of the time it doesn't happen when you first write that content, and that's true at Groupon. So you can actually see our H1 tag there, tandem skydive from 8,000 feet for 1 or 2 from skydive Hollister, right? The keyword for this page is skydive Hollister, right? We actually really, really crush it for merchant search, okay? Tandem skydive, maybe, but that's probably more of a category page. So we don't do it, I'm not here to say we do it right, but what we're definitely going to do already started doing this year is start integrating our tools at the time of writing that content so you get that feedback. And I was talking with Lem and Jim saying, hey, can we get that content optimizer working for our deal pages? Maybe not right away, but I love the idea. And then, of course, customer reviews. That's kind of an obvious thing. Get customer reviews on there. They're fresh. Customers write them for you. They're unique. They're just gold. Okay, Amazon does this. They were probably the first ones to really nail it, and we do it as well. Okay, next thing we do. Here's one where it's merchant pages. Maybe a lot of people may not realize this, but we actually have more than, I would say, 100, maybe 50 times as many merchant pages than we have deal pages for live deals at any time. So every merchant in the United States, we have a page for, a little bit like a mini Yelp. We have really great content for some. So here's Gino's East Pizza, a Chicago native would probably know that place. So that's, again, here's another place where we can put a lot of useful content. What else do we have on this page? We have, so we have merchant hours, address info, merchant tips, again, user-generated content, and crucially, we have nearby deals. So we can monetize it, but we also pull all of this content from other deals that are nearby, and we're reusing it, repurposing it. So all of this is automated. This is all very beneficial. And again, you want to, if you don't have a CMS that can do that, at Groupon we build our own pages from the ground up. So, we've built these to do this, but that's really what you need to do on an e-commerce site. Category page. So again, all these categories because we're a marketplace. Here's San Francisco things to do. We've got a deal carousel at the top with snippets from the deals. We have these links to subcategories right in the middle. So again, when somebody says things to do in San Francisco, we don't know exactly what they want, right? So we put these clickable links there right in the middle of the page, and this is promotes our other key categories in the website. What else do we have? We have links as deal rows. So this says kids activities. So if you keep going down this page, we have kids activities, and you can click that. And again, you're really building out that internal link graph. And let's see. And then we also have this place where we can pull in articles. So if you guys are here to talk about articles, we've got those too, and we pull in snippets there. And related deals on the right-hand side. So again, just reusing this content. One thing that's really cool that we've just recently built is an index of all of our articles. So we can actually do a search in real time on this page for things to do San Francisco to our own article database, and it'll pull in that article. So that, again, it's automated. Someone decides to write the article, hopefully using a content calendar and with lots of planning, but it just goes into your inventory, and then it gets pulled automatically to this page, and Google will see that as fresh content, and again, with lots of keywords in the snippets. Finally, we also write sort of guides, so 10 best cheeseburgers in Chicago, and we're a Chicago-based company, so I've got Chicago on the mind. Unique content to links and links to merchants, and again, we link to category pages within and product pages within the page. So you got the point. Have a CMS that can reuse all your content, and occasion pages, Mother's Day gifts, etc. Links as deal rows. All that stuff. Okay, let's move on. Now you've seen sort of a little tour of the Groupon site, but the main point there is leverage what you have. Now I want to talk about some of these other things, and actually as they apply to editorial content. Let me do a quick time check here. It was really gratifying today to learn about these products that are coming out, because last year we've been working closely with the product team at BrightEdge to kind of get sort of an early access version. And now that I see what the real version is going to look like, I'm pretty excited about it. So we'll talk about some of those. I'm really excited, actually. So the first thing I want to talk about, though, is when you select keywords, you've got a lot to choose from at a site like Groupon. So we have so many categories, so many levels of detail there. So you kind of either going to do depth first or breadth first. I'm a computer science guy, so those are important words for me, algos and such. So on the right hand side, I've got topic breadth. And down the left-hand side, I've got specificity. Now, we'd all like to think that everything that we sell or that we promote on our site we're equally knowledgeable about, but Google's a really good arbiter of what you are actually authoritative on. So let's say you put out some category pages, and does this work? Oh, cool. And then you go to BrightEdge, and BrightEdge tells you, hey, this is the page that's crushing it. So the question is, where do you build your next content, and what content should you leverage? And I think my experience is you should go deep, because Google is basically saying you're an authority on the subject. So for instance, massage, I'll show you a more detailed example in a second. But the idea is pretty obvious. What you do is you build more pages, or you bring them together, page groups, I think is what Steve was calling them, and you can link them. So you get the opportunity of more sort of logical linking. It builds your authority on when Google already says you're an authority on that subject. You really can double down on it. And then, once again, rinse, wash, repeat, go deeper. Then I would say, when you've gone deep in a topic, then you can spread it out and start going broad. That's going to be up to you and your organization to understand when it's the right opportunity. But for instance, Groupon, health, beauty, wellness is really kind of a sweet spot for us. So massages and nail salons, hair salons, etc. And that's, if we waited to write articles on every single subject that we had and to go deep on those, we'd be doing ourselves a disservice. All right. So now, this is this is a funny slide. So this is actually this is a spreadsheet that I built based on data, sort of an early access from BrightEdge. This whole year we've been working closely with them. And then I come here today and I realize that my spreadsheet is going to get replaced by their data mine, which is really stinking cool. I'll tell you what's awesome about this. But the other thing I have to point out is I had numbers in these columns, but I'm not allowed to show you those numbers because they indicate how much revenue we think we might get from these keywords. So I'll let you guys do the math. I'm sorry, that's my own internal Groupon wanted me to cover those up. But so if you notice that's blank, I'm sorry about that. Anyway, so what did this tool, and I'm going to kind of take a leap here. This is what DataMine can do, but this is based off of DataCube data. It breaks all the keywords that you're interested in by category, and then topics, and then crucially, it filters out only the ones based on what is needed in the moment. And in this case, we wanted editorial articles, and so the team put this filter on. And all of a sudden, we weren't seeing any of the sort of classic top-level category keywords. So for instance, on Italian food's not a keyword in all of this, because that's really kind of low funnel for us. But something like what is gelato, which is what we're broken out here. So we have what is gelato, gelato versus ice cream, how is gelato made, gelato and ice cream, what is Italian ice cream called? All of these just came automatically from BrightEdge. So I'm really plugging them, but if you saw that thing earlier today, that was where they had all those circles that you could drill into. And over here I have the value sum of searches over here, and then you can do the math as what click-through you think you're going to get and what your revenue per visit is likely to be. And then you can rank order which ones you ought to go after. So that's another way of selecting keywords that I think is really useful. I'm looking forward to using that tool. All right, let's see, next slide. Oh, right, so now I'm going to look at another keyword selection example. This one's pretty cool. This is an article on on Groupon. It's how to behave before, during, and after a massage, which is pretty cool. And it gets a lot of traffic it's actually, the URL is Massage Etiquette Tips etc. And this is data for number of clicks per month that we're getting to the page. Now, if we look at the keywords, so this is going into Data Cube now. For this, on the left-hand side, it's what keywords went to this article, and I've ranked them by their rank. And you see things like, do you tip massage therapists? And how much to tip a therapist? And tipping massage therapists? And do you tip, all the different variations. And those are all ranked first or second or third. So we're really crushing it there, right? So we're answering a question when somebody's wants information. But now if you take the data cube, and again, I think if we use the new products, we may not have to, data mine does this for you a little bit, but it's great. If you know how to use data cube, you go in there, you then sort by search volume. Because now I want to know what are my highest search volume keywords, right? And you see some bigger ones in there, but they're not ranked so well. So the third one down is back massage tips, and that's 56. So that's pretty useless rank. But what I'm trying to say is or the point here is that actually would be a great next article to write, right? So if you're going deep, you've written the one on massage, here's one that's clearly related. It's, Google, it's like, yeah, I will put you 56th on there. You use the word back and you're about massages. But if we had a back massages specific article around that, I think we could rank first or be right up there, right? And then we get that link benefit of building a content page for for the group. Anyway, really cool stuff in the BrightEdge product. Content reuse. So again, I touched on this before a little bit, but this is, I've got the example here is barbecue restaurants in Kansas City. So it's really useful in surfacing content for tail queries. So the more content you can put on that page, the more connections that Google's going to see, right? They're not necessarily going to be, you're not going to sort of luck into a 100,000 searches per month keyword, but some of those little, itty bitty ones that in total add up to a lot, you're going to get benefit by adding more content to that page. And so one way to do it is the merchant pages with snippets. So again, adding more content to the page there. And as Steve was saying before, Google doesn't care if you reasonably reuse your content on your page, right? So I think some people are really concerned about over reuse, and they should be. But being intelligent about it is actually a good thing. And again, this is solved with a search engine, right? So we have barbecue restaurants in Kansas City, Missouri. That's what we call a geocat page at Groupon. So that's the geography of Kansas City. The category of barbecue. Well, if you take all our categories and multiply them across all our cities, that's a matrix of millions and millions of potential pages. So we don't put the same merchants obviously there. We do a search query and internally, and so that the links get spread out throughout. So it's quite powerful. Let's see. And then, okay, so that's what I was saying, smart linking for on-site promotion. So a good CMS should have a search engine. I'm saying don't hard code links. Obviously, you're going to hard code links when it's your super highly curated article. So I'm again talking at scale. If you can automate it, it's a great way to go. Use context of the linking page instead, and it builds in freshness because you always are going to promote the freshest articles. And at Groupon, we can search for deals, merchants, articles, category, geography. And the examples were the massage articles. So that's one way we can show more. These are the ones that are showing currently on our local massages page. And again, the barbecue merchants. And I think that is my last slide. So I may have, yep, that is my last slide. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.